You're watching this week's edition of the Fanvestor Report with your host, Jezlan Moyet.
Welcome to the Fanvestor Report. I'm your host, Jezlan Moyet. What is Fanvestor? Well, it's an innovative digital crowdfunding platform. Think Start Engine meets e-entertainment. This is where fans can support their favorite celebrities by investing in them. Actors, fashion moguls, athletes, you name it. Now is the opportunity for fans to invest in hard. And we're having a conversation about it. Fans can participate through investing in e-commerce, auctions, perks, one-of-a-kind experiences. You can be accredited or non-accredited. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is be a fan. It's that easy. That's why it's super important to me to have this conversation, to be a part of the Fanvestor Report, to entertain, to inspire, to educate, and let's make some money. Get in on it. Well, what are we getting in on this week? Amar'e Stoudemire's Masa. Amar'e Stoudemire is a six-time NBA All-Star, Olympic bronze medalist, most recently the 2020 MVP for the Israeli Championships. And he's not just an NBA All-Star. He's an entrepreneur. He's got an organic farm. He's got a fashion line. He's got a wine company. I mean, he literally wears a lot of hats, and great hats, by the way. He had one on for our press conference that was insane. If you missed that, check it out on Fanvestor, but I digress. But let's talk Masa, the new collagen supplement focusing on the active lifestyle, launched exclusively on fanvestor.com. A portion of the proceeds go to the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation, which helps at-risk youth and promotes educational opportunities, especially for financial literacy, which we all want to know how to make a better investment, right? I know I'm interested in that. And Masa literally translates to journey in Hebrew, which I think is so incredibly inspiring. Amar'e's journey as an athlete led him to be one of the most successful entrepreneurs and philanthropists. So as I mentioned, of course, a portion of the proceeds goes to Amar'e's foundation, right? But he's also giving away great perks and experiences to the fans. If you buy Masa and a package, comes with a limited edition Stoudemire hoodie that he designed. It's super cool. There's also a one-on-one game of NBA 2K with Amar'e, virtual round of boxing with Amar'e at Rebel Gym, so you can duke it out. Dinner with Amar'e in New York, prepared by his personal chef. But wait for it. The best perk is a trip to Israel with Amar'e himself. And he's going to take you through a tour of all the holy sites. If you didn't know, he is actually a very spiritual man, which is all part of the reason why he was so specific about the great ingredients that are going into his collagen product, into the Masa himself. So last week we announced the contest winner. We'll make the announcement one more time. Winning a box of matzah and an exclusive Stoudemire hoodie is Nancy Gumbo. Congratulations, Nancy Gumbo, at the Wine Queen. Great name, by the way. If you haven't tried it, Nancy, be sure to get a bottle of Amar'e Stoudemire's wine and celebrate, right? In the hoodie, be sure to tag Fanvestor. We'll share it on our platforms. We want to know all about your experience and what you think of the Masa, right? Let's hear your journey. Okay, I couldn't help it. I had to be punny. On the Fanvestor Report, we've got a great interview with an athlete who's mastered his transition to entrepreneur. Stay tuned for a one-on-one exclusive with Rashad McCants. Welcome back to the Fanvestor Report. I'm Jezlan Moyet, and I am so excited and be honored to be here with my friend Rashad McCants. He's an NBA All-Star. He's an author, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and an innovator, a true multi-hyphenate. And I am just I'm so excited to hear about your journey from an athlete to entrepreneur. Who inspires you? Where did this all begin for you?
It really began at an early age, understanding the multi-talented actors and musicians that were out there, like Tupac Shakur and Will Smith, that were also music artists and athletes, and not necessarily Tupac Shakur, but they gave me inspiration to do more than just become an athlete or be in the sports world. So for a lot of years in my life, early on, I dabbled in music, dabbled in film, and also wanted to get into some production and writing, and also filming music videos and stuff like that. And that was beyond being a rapper or being an actor. So I wanted all those things to encompass one specific talent. And so to be able to dabble in all of these different industries allowed me to see the necessary niche that I could fulfill as far as consulting and advisories and being a part of the up and coming network of talent that would need some type of guidance, and also just dabbling into tech and blockchain and economics, real estate, just trying to be really cultured in life and figuring out where opportunities lie.
Okay, so let's start with who you are, right? According to Instagram, there are a couple multi-hyphenates in your bio, right? King SUNY Block, Plantation Education, Bum to Billionaire, The Greatest Ever Enterprises, Cannabis Therapeutics, Members Only America. You've got a lot on the resume right now. So let's, fire them off. King SUNY Block, what is that?
King SUNY Black is my artist name. It was my rapper name. So for the last 16 years, I've been making music that I haven't really put out yet because I've been focused on perfecting it. As an artist, I take a different approach to just, pushing music out and wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard. And rather than create some type of legacy of greatness surrounded around the time it takes, the process it goes into being an artist, researching and really evaluating, being a student of the craft before I actually go out and enjoy the vanity of it all. That's King SUNY Black, and Plantation Education is my first novel that I wrote as far as being an author is concerned. It was inspired by my pursuit of education reform. When I went to University of North Carolina, I actually fought hard against the NCAA and the University of North Carolina on academic fraud allegations and trying to really focus on getting athletes a real education so that they can be prepared post-career. And
what was your experience personally like with that? What did you learn in university as an athlete and an entrepreneur, or what do you wish you would have learned?
I wish I would have learned the basics of economics, of managing, budgeting, investing, credit, debt, assets, liabilities, corporation creation, foundations, estate planning. All of these things are not being taught at the educational level of collegiate sports,
which completely blows my mind. Yeah. So, in all honesty, Rashad and I met in Vegas at an investing conference. Yeah. The whole theme of the weekend was investing in yourself, right? A weekend, brought to you by Job Boy Productions, all focused on really creating that entrepreneurial investing experience. And I was honestly so surprised that that wasn't something that was readily a part of any athlete's experience.
Right. We're actually set up for failure if you really think about it, because we're not prepared for the biggest obstacles that we will face, which is financial. And you're giving us tens of millions of dollars before we even understand where it goes, what's going to happen with it. So we have to put our trust in the agents and wealth managers and advisors we don't know, have no idea what their motives are. I personally was robbed a few times, taken advantage of, just because I had my eye on the prize. So with the book Plantation Education, prepares athletes for not only understanding the temperature and the climate of how the system was set up, but also the solutions to provide, real performance-based requirements to be able to segue the actual payment process of how to pay players through their name, image, and likeness, and also trying to, introduce the NFTs and the blockchain of protecting those players and how they get their money on their name, image, and likeness.
So we were talking about NFTs earlier in this podcast. Very interesting that you brought that up. What's your take on them? Are you going to create an NFT?
I'm actually in the process of having a call with the ESPN producer. I had probably one of the biggest controversial interviews in the history of sports, going up against the University of North Carolina and causing an investigation that cost them about 30-40 million to get rid of. And that is a moment in time that can't be replaced. So I'm in talks. I'm trying to create this moment as an NFT that,
wow.
The biggest fraudulent, most corrupt situation in sports happened and was pushed under the rug. and it's a moment. So things like that are rare, valuable moments in history of time are also rare, valuable moments in the NFT world.
Speaking of rare, valuable things, what do you hold, most valuable to you? What is the most rare quality about you that makes you so successful as an entrepreneur?
I just think my knowledge, wisdom, and my ability to give back that information in a motivating and inspiring way. My book, Bum to Billionaire, which is going through those hyphens, is a philosophy of how to go from one extreme to the next. And from being having a bum mind state is not necessarily something that, when you talk about the word juncture of it all, it has a negative connotation to it, the word bum. And we transform that into a mind state, into a mentality, a behavior that can be toxic to anyone who's trying to become a billionaire. And we also transform that word billionaire from a monetary word to a mentality, to a responsibility.
So what is that billionaire mentality? I know what it is to me. What is it to you?
To me, it's just about creating responsibility and holding yourself accountable for that responsibility to help and share others with the abundance that you've created. Whether that abundance is monetary, whether that abundance is information, opportunity, it is the responsibility of the billionaire, the person who has the mentality to overcome anything, to manifest anything, to go and take that information and give back to those who are in the bum mentality and to raise their vibration, raise their mentality. So we give a step-by-step breakdown of the process it takes to go from your lower self of the bum and to reach your higher self as the billionaire. It's almost like a holistic spiritual transition or journey from the lower self to the higher self.
Do you feel like you're walking as your billionaire self now?
Yes, and that's why the book, it resonates now, because I've been through the bum process and every facet of it. When it comes to the crab in the bucket syndrome, people pulling you down, you doing so much for other people, you're weighing yourself down even more, just being gullible and just not following your intuition, and letting the mind control you and not controlling your mind. And I think we harp a lot on those aspects of mind control and then you being able to be in control.
That's such an interesting thing, because as an athlete, I assume you have to be in the zone,
Yep.
right? Like a certain place in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in that alignment, right? To put your best game on.
Absolutely.
How do you translate that off the field, off the court, into your life as a businessman, as an entrepreneur?
That's a great question, because a lot of times athletes are so aggressive and passionate and competitive.
Right.
We don't know how to translate that energy into business because it's not the same field with the same aggression. And so oftentimes we become intimidating to the lower level competitors in the business space because they don't know the team atmosphere that the athlete comes from. They don't know the competitive field of, I want to destroy you on the other side. And the adjustment and the transition between both worlds is the athlete has to understand to take his emotions out of business. And in sports, it's all emotion and passion. And in business, it's, you could get the raw deal on this business deal, and you may get cheated or slighted on this side, but it's business.
Oh, but that pain is real. Have you ever shorted a stock and had it go the wrong way?
Yep.
It hurts.
It's painful, but it's not emotional, where you can get mad at the stock and say, "Oh, this is an investment. It's a risk. It's part of business." So athletes have to understand that the emotional side has to be eradicated, and you have to really harness in on the mentality of understanding it's two different worlds. And we have to understand how to embrace taking the sports world and trying to blend it into the business world, where we're not being over aggressive, over emotional, and we see the ethics and the values beyond our competitive side. And we're tapping in more to the creative side too, because that's what business is for. You need a creative vision, you need a creative innovation. And a lot of the athletes forget that because we're so competitive.
It's been really incredible to see how many business opportunities athletes have started, right? Even Amari Stoudemire, for instance, on Fanvestor, launched a collagen product. He's got a wine, he's got a farm, he's got a fashion line. I mean, just all the ways that they can use that creative genius differently than they were on the court. So what are some of those ways for you?
Trying to leverage relationships and resources, but also being very knowledgeable in different spaces, different demographics, different markets, understanding what the needs are, opportunities in those spaces. For example, my Members Only America is an edutainment platform specific to training simulations for the education space. And what we do is we've created a pipeline from interest to occupation for student athletes and athletes, former athletes, present athletes that have post-career opportunities that they want to pursue. We take them through virtual training simulations that can prepare them in those crafts.
This is incredible, not only just for an athlete, but for anyone who wants to reinvent themselves and start from the beginning, especially for the athlete experience, right? When they reach the top of the top, they're a celebrity in their own right.
Yes.
Then to start at ground zero again can do a lot to the ego, can do a lot to the mind. Or for a woman at 30 who's going to embark on a new career, or stay-at-home mom who needs to train but needs to be at home.
Right.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely a different step, because now what we've done is we've taken the university out of the equation, where you don't have to sign into admissions, you don't have to be accepted. All you have to do is join our platform, and we provide headsets for you. So in virtual reality, you'll be able to train for any skill trade that you are either familiar with or interested in. We take you through a curriculum that can prepare you for any of those job opportunities that arise, which we will then give you an opportunity for. So take, for example, any athlete that is in college currently is interested in broadcasting. Let's just say that athlete is not one of the top 3 sports athletes, which is football, basketball, or baseball. This is a rower or a field hockey player who's interested in broadcasting for ESPN, to be a reporter. We create virtual reality simulations for that broadcasting segment so that person can get training. And that training is contingent on how many hours they want to use. How much training do you want to put in? And it's not going to be contingent to paying a trainer. It's not going to be contingent to going to a place to go train. You can do it in your living room, in your bedroom, for as many hours as you can until you get really good at it.
Okay, so Rashad, what have you tried or virtually trained in on this platform?
We've been creating these actual simulations and these actual curriculums, but the one that I was most interested in for myself was the cannabis cultivation simulations that we created to help understand cannabis industry,
which is booming right now.
Also trying to get, training bud tenders, training the trimmers, understand the botanicals, understanding the whole industry that doesn't have a real university or education platform.
Well, it's so taboo, right? Even in mainstream for so long. Now that it's acceptable, everyone needs to catch up and learn fast.
Yes, and the stigma behind it is that cannabis is just high and fun and hippie. And I think with my particular industry, which is the cannabis spa therapeutics, is allows us to go in to teach about cannabis and teach about the stigmas and how CBD and hemp are about health, not high. And that's a lot of all of my businesses is about education and teaching people about the different perspectives they had around the industry or the subject matters, and try to really help them hone into it.
So for you, as an investor, what's your thesis? What are you looking for to invest in? Whether that's your money, your time, your heart, what draws you into an opportunity?
Values, ethics, it's really about who you're dealing with. It's not even about the talent. It's about, the longevity of relationships, what they can bring to the table beyond this one deal. We really believe in vertical integration. being able to build onto the project and help it, get a grander vision and even more profit and more scalability. The character of the people that you invest in is big. And I think today's society we are having a identity crisis, a character crisis, and it's harder to invest in people because you don't know who they are. You don't know what their motives are. They're not prepared. They have ideas, but they haven't done the work. They haven't asked the questions. They haven't reached out to the mentors. And I think that's a lot to do with mentorship and the older people giving back the information so that we can make better decisions.
What's the best investment you've ever made?
I would say recently, one that hasn't really panned out yet, but I created the first vegan energy superfood shot.
Bottoms up. Do you have any with you?
Because but it's called Vegano Energy, and it was booming before COVID, and unfortunately COVID took us out of business and stopped a lot of purchase orders that we had in China and Canada, and manufacturing kind of scaled up and didn't deliver for us, so we had to go to court and all this kind of stuff. But it was one that I was really proud of as far as the inception, how it happened, being able to spend the money that I spent on the actual product and the packaging, and everything was beautiful. It was just something that didn't pan out, but I think that if it was ever delivered to the market, it would be successful.
Thank you for your transparency in that, though, because so many entrepreneurs, so many businessmen and celebrities only want to talk about the successes. Yeah. Right? And then for anyone who's, attempting to create something or bring a product to fruition, when it doesn't go as planned,
they don't want to talk about it.
They don't want to talk about it. But those are the opportunities to connect, to learn, to grow from.
Right. When you talk about success in different spaces, you look at like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, who weren't having conversations during their failures.
If you didn't fail, you didn't try.
You didn't try. And so now the conversations of success are easy to have because we've done the work. We've failed over and over and over again. And so even with my businesses, having this conversation, having a multi-million-dollar business would be a different conversation, because I would probably more invest in Fanvestor and help you guys get to a whole nother level. But when you've hit the pitfalls of failure and trying to start businesses and gain resources and relationships, you hit pitfalls, but you got to just keep pushing. And all those guys who are successful now kept pushing until they hit the wall, until they pushed through the wall.
There's a post recently on Instagram, on your account, I am Rashad McCants, that I found personally very inspiring, so I'm going to read it back to you right now. In the beginning, you can't always expect people to see the vision. Can't wait for anyone to believe in what you're setting out to create in order to make the first move. You just have to bet on yourself. Start small, stay consistent, grow your dreams step by step by step. You feel me? Take this approach with you into 2021. Stop waiting. Just go.
I love it. That was just a reminder, of hard times are always going to be there. You're not going to skip out on them, and they're not going to avoid you. So to be ready for anything that comes your way is just to be prepared. Always prepare for your success, just for failures, and be ready, because neither one is guaranteed. Success or failure is guaranteed, but if we ride the ride, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to learn from either one. You're going to learn from your success, you're going to learn from your failures. But if you do not ride the ride, you cannot enjoy the journey.
So powerful. What do you want to be remembered most for?
Really introducing a whole new philosophy to accountability, to correction, to be able to give people the understanding that we all have an opportunity to be great, and the things that are holding us back are not the things we point at, the people we blame. Because if it's not the mirror, it doesn't matter. It's all your fault. The reason why everything is the way it is, because we control our own destiny, we shape our own worlds, and if we continue to give ourselves excuses of why our world doesn't look the way we want it to, it'll never do that. And so I believe now's the time is correct, to hold people accountable for blaming others instead for yourself, to put people in line with opportunities that they work hard for, and not giving people things because they asked for them. And I think that those are the laws of the universe, is being able to go out and do and act and be, and not be given and blame and be negative. I think that's all counterproductive with where we're trying to go as a society.
So with that in mind, what's next for you?
Funding, trying to find funding
the F word.
For projects, and really just continuing to build, creating relationships with other geniuses in the space. A lot of our motto is in the TGE, which is another hyphenate for one of my businesses, is the greatest ever enterprises, is we want to unlock and unpack the genius in the athletic communities and in the minority communities. There are a lot of geniuses with ideas and concepts that can't be taken advantage of because we can't hear them. We don't know they have them because they're being ignored because of their class, because of their situations, because of the lack thereof. And I think it's important for these athletes and celebrities to get off the high horse, get into these communities, and unpack the genius that's there, because these are the millennials who are going to take us into the next generations of innovation, of investing in ideas like Amari's and things that can come about that the fans can understand and want to be a part of. But there's others. There's so many X-Men and other superheroes out there that we have no idea because they don't have. And that's my whole purpose and mission, is to give to those who want, who desire, who inspire and motivate to be better, but just don't have.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for the impact that you have made on and off the court. I so appreciate and respect you as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, as an author, all those multi-hyphenates and all the hats you wear.
I appreciate you as well having me on the show.
Remind everyone where they can find, follow, and support you.
I'm on Instagram. I am Rashad McCants, and I'm on LinkedIn. I think those are the only two places you can find me right now. And I'm a public figure, so you can hit me up anytime, ask any questions. And thanks again to Fanvestor allowing me to share the platform.
Thank you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to the Fanvestor Report. I am super inspired by our conversation with Rashad and want to talk about some other athletes who have made the transition to entrepreneurs. Venus Williams has done it very successfully. Of course, in honor of Mother's Day women, we're going to highlight a couple of female athletes. Okay, shout out to my girls. She's the CEO of not one, but two companies, 11, which is an athletic apparel for fashion-forward athletic women, and V-Star Interiors, which is an interior design company. So you can look good and you can make your home look good. Everything is available online. And why did she do all of this, right? I mean, she's already a superstar. Does she need more? Well, it's a way of giving back to the fans. She's personally involved in all aspects of 11, from design to understanding everything from prints to colors to sales, with that, the customers and the fan experiences, and she's constantly bringing new pieces to the table. Then with V-Star Interiors, her design company, Williams describes it as her greatest passion after tennis. I mean, now that is a huge thing, right? This interior design is her greatest passion after tennis. I always think it's so incredible when we find out really the individual behind the powerful athlete, the entrepreneur behind the celebrity, and what it is that they're passionate about. I never would have dreamed until I've read this how much she appreciates interior design. She credits her team of designers at V-Star as the best part of being the founder there, and that they give her the chance to learn, to share, collaborate, and excel together. So props to a good team, right? You can't make it happen all by yourself. And let's talk about Naomi Osaka for a second. She's another incredible female athlete and entrepreneur. Tennis star, #1 in the world in women's singles. She's the first Asian woman to ever hold that name. She launched her own skincare brand for people of color, where, of course, online just this year in 2021. Her hope for the brand is to be a place for harder emphasis on skin protection for people of color. It's super important, right? SPF for any shade of skin tones, and she really recognized that, and she made this product available to her fans. The line will include an SPF 50 sunscreen, protective body spray, so whether you're playing tennis or you're at the beach, and a 40 tinted face lotion, and so much more. I love a tinted face lotion for so many reasons. One, it's multiple products in one, so shout out to Naomi for her creation of her line, Clean Low. NFTs are hot, hot, hot. Well, if you're like me, you want to know, what does NFT even stand for? It's been really hard to wrap my mind around what a non-fungible token really is. Just when I thought I had figured out crypto, had my own wallet, got in on Ethereum, got in on Bitcoin, I mean, even just a fraction of a bit, right? Now I need to get in on an NFT, so these tokens can actually be used to represent ownership of unique items like art and other collectibles. Okay, so what does exactly that mean? The authenticity of NFT is verified by Ethereum blockchain, who, by the way, this 27-year-old is now a billionaire, the founder of Ethereum. Billionaire. This is real, and this is not going away. So the non-fungible part of this is that NFTs are unique and they're not interchangeable. Again, you're wondering, what does this mean? So let me give you an example. Say you have a baseball card, and as the owner of the card, you create a token on the blockchain representing the authenticity of that baseball card. You can now trade or sell it for other valuable goods on that blockchain. It actually has a worth in Ethereum. Still trying to wrap your head around it? It's okay. Me too. But I want in. And so did other celebrities like Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton says, and I quote, "I see NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, as the future of the creator economy. They use blockchain technology to help creators increase the value of their work and share it with fans in real time. And blockchain technology will allow artists to get paid on secondary sales as well." That's never happened before. And it's mind-blowing how much that can change things for artists. It's true. Paris is spot on. There's nothing simple or basic about this. This is game-changing for any creator, for any artist.
We will be right back after this message from our sponsors.
Are you craving the latest of La La Land? Tune in to Everything Hollywood, featuring Larry Namer and Omar Akram. Check out Fanvestor on all of our socials at FVESTOR. And don't forget to go to fanvestor.com for more information. Thanks again. Be sure to click that like, follow, subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.
You can see past editions of the Fanvestor Report on our YouTube channel. Make sure you catch them all.